Well, Prepper, looks like we were right. It's hit the fan. So let's dive in and talk about it.
Screw your freedom.
You want answers?
I think I'm entitled.
You want answers?
I want the truth!
You can't handle the truth!
Welcome back to the Prepared Mind channel, folks. What a high strangeness, craziness that's going on, right? We're having all this trouble. War with Russia, right? Baby food, southern border, massive inflation, fuel problems, food problems, and Congress. A Democrat congressional committee wants to hold a hearing on UFOs or UAPs, right? They want to talk about aliens. I mean, I'm all for it, folks. I want some truth. I want to know what the hell's going on in our atmosphere and on our planet, and how about in the universe in general? I'd like to know that stuff. But hey, couldn't you have done that before there was war? Or can't it wait until we get the final ass kicking against Ukraine over with? No. It's high strangeness all the time. But that's not the subject of this video, folks. Oh, no. I'm going to go down the Twitter road, right? Twitter is in big trouble. And this is huge news. I think this is huger than Musk trying to buy them to free up our free speech. I think it's much bigger than that. What I mean by that is Twitter now needs Musk. They need his name. They need this deal to happen. Before they're like, no, all the employees, no, crying their little tears. We don't want Musk. Free speech is wrong. They've been caught recently, an engineer there, whatever the hell his name is. Oh, we're communist fuck. Yeah, we're not about free speech because we know what's best for the world. When someone says that, folks, you have to look at what system they are asking for and what that system has produced. I will put up any system of freedom and a restrained government against a system, a superpower, that the government has total authority and the people have none. Yeah, you look at communism and you look at fascism and they murder people by the millions. Twitter needs Musk. So knowing that, or maybe they aren't as smart as they think, Twitter employees have been attacking Musk. And not only did they make fun of him, but they made fun of a protected group. Hello, Twitter. You need to protect the world from your bad opinions. They're making fun of people with Asperger's, right? I thought people who had medical conditions, mental disorders, like various forms of dysphoria, I thought they were supposed to be protected and not picked on and not made fun of. Woof, right? Look out. So they need Musk, right? Twitter needs Musk. And guess what? Musk is now a new Republican. For the first time in his life, he is registered as a Republican. Now, I have a problem with people who are not super duper constitutionalists becoming Republicans, because they, depending on the cult of personality, will tend to remove and take a party. Instead of going further right, they'll pull a party further left. Now, I thought Trump was an awesome spokesman because he got so much attention and he was willing to fight. But he isn't nearly as conservative as I would like him to have been, and possibly in the future would like him to be. There was no discussion about freedom and liberty until he lost his freedom and liberties as president. This country's in big trouble, folks. We got a lot of work to do. And the people at the front of the line, the big names, right? Well, the big names are nice to have, but being staunchly free speech is important. And staunchly Second Amendment and Fourth and Fifth and Ninth and 10th, right? Pro Constitution. And how about this one? Remember, I said this, folks. In 2 years, it's going to be a little more important? How about being pro-Declaration of Independence? How about some of these politicians standing up and citing the Declaration of Independence? Yeah, it's just that important. I mean, Jim Jordan, Representative Jim Jordan, out of Ohio, Republican, is criticizing the Democrats for holding a UFO conference. How about if all the Republicans, not just Jim Jordan, get up and do something like the January 6th protesters be released? How about if the Republicans in unison point out that what's going on in Ukraine is a giant sham, and that it is Zelensky and those who support him that are causing the pain and suffering for the people of Ukraine, because it is the most corrupt nation on the planet, bar none. And Zelensky is the leader, so he is the most corrupt on the planet. Yet he's being treated like he's some kind of god, like he's some sort of savior, which of course I don't think, right? I don't think he is at all. Now, back to Twitter. Far left, politically, groups, businesses, corporations, including Media Matters, including BLM, have harassed, harangued, and threatened advertisers who advertise on Twitter over Musk, trying to take over Twitter, right? Elon Musk suggested at the time that this attack was happening, that someone should investigate those groups threatening to do a Twitter ad boycott. Turns out, folks, Elon Musk's Twitter detractors received millions in federal funds. Now, is this illegal? Was there a crime there? Does it just smell unethical and kind of off? Does it just stink a little bit? Or is there a real problem here, right? Because in April, 24 far left groups wrote a letter to Twitter and ordered them to drop their advertising if Elon Musk went through with his purchase of Twitter, the social media. Massive, everyone must believe, right? Now, since then, the story of Twitter's lies and their fraud about users, how many there are, this story is growing. And investors and advertisers have been duped and subject to massive fraud. It was reported that half, folks, 50% of Joe Biden's Twitter followers are bots and spam users. What does that say? They're not popular. Do you find it interesting, by the way, that mainstream social media, which is YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, do you find it interesting that mainstream social media, like the regular mainstream media, needs fraud to support itself? And it needs government to protect it, to stay in business, to stay viable. Isn't that incredible? They need to use censorship to silence us so they can have a monopoly on what is said. And so advertisers look to them as legitimate. See, this is crazy. Remember when years ago, remember this prepper, remember this patriot, they said the right wing is full of Nazis and hate, and we have to take away their advertising revenue. We have to destroy the alt-right, the alternative media, which is what you and I were becoming. And so we had to go to Patreon to get guerrilla funding, guerrilla support from you guys to stay in the office and spend a fair amount of time every day, nose to the grindstone, looking into this and seeing how it affects us as Americans, as human beings, as preppers and patriots. While mainstream media and mainstream social media suck all the money out of the system and all the support and get government funding and government backing. And they're not disinformation. They're not misinformation. They're not lies. Turns out that is the lie. They are the misinformation and disinformation. They're controlling us because they say and they admit that they know what's right and what's best, right? This is crazy, folks. You and I get zero government support. and we have to bust our asses to get ahead in whatever job it is we have. And in today's climate, folks, we don't get ahead. We're just trying to stay alive. Right? Stay tuned, folks. This SHTF nonsense is going to get worse, way worse, everywhere and at every level. At the top, with this NATO, Ukraine, Russia shit, to our oil, to our baby food, to our regular food, to our energy, to our fuel, to social media and how we interact and learn and share. Like I said, share this video with others. People need to see this. They're not being told this. For the most part, people are like, yeah, there's a Twitter issue. It's Musk. You know how he is. It's okay. It's fine. The government will fix it. How many times have you gotten in a conversation? Oh, the government monitors that. Don't worry about what Twitter does. The SEC and the CFI, CIDDD, the government will take care of that and fix all that. No, they're not. They're allowing it, right? And the story is so big, the mainstream media can't ignore it because they have to get rid of Musk, but now they need Musk, and that's important. It's incredible and important. So it's important. Yeah, they need Musk now because his name will attract investors back into Twitter stock if he can buy it. He may back out altogether and say there's enough evidence that this company is 100% full of shit. It's fraud. Its books and everything are cooked. What about YouTube, folks? What about Facebook? What about Google and their practices? What about Instagram? What about all social media and how they lie and manipulate and have an anti-American, pro-communist, pro-socialist, pro-fascist slant on everything while pushing freedom and liberty to the side and saying there's limits to the First Amendment. There's no First Amendment free speech. It's right there in the First Amendment. There's no First Amendment free speech. You don't have a right to say what you want. Second Amendment. There's no Second Amendment. There's no right to keep guns, but there's a right to an abortion. It's right there. Can't you not see it? Unbelievable, folks. High strangeness. To tell the truth becomes a crime. To tell a lie is virtuous. That is not a good way for any nation to exist, but here we are. It is hit the fan. Chance favors the prepared mind is yours. Thank you for supporting us on Patreon. Thank you for supporting us with super chats, with thank yous, with super stickers, and every other way to support this channel. But please get prepared. Support yourselves. Go to thepreparedmind.club and get your preps. Get what you need, folks. They're telling us. They're not lying about the food shortages. They're not lying about the fuel rationing, the fuel shortages that are coming. That is a fact. It's going to get worse. Chance favors the prepared mind. Godspeed, Semper Fi.
Have you any idea how successful censorship is on TV? Don't know the answer? Successful, isn't it?